Good morning again, and we're now ready to kick off the day. Thanks for answering the poll there, and we'll recap some of the results towards the end of the day and throughout the day. Thank you again for being here. We have a pretty jam-packed set of sessions today, so hopefully you'll get what you want out of the day, and we'll definitely be looking for feedback. This is the first time Tech Lab has actually hosted an event that's open to the public. So in that, non-members can actually attend. So actually, quick show of hands. Who in the room is not a Tech Lab member? Cool. All right. Well, it's great to have the non-members here. It's great that so many of you are already members. So with that, next slide, please. So welcome again. Next. Okay. So for those who don't know, and even for those of you who are members, wanted to just provide a really quick overview of what Tech Lab is, and especially since many of you are focused on video, you may not be aware of some of the other things that we do. So just wanted to give you that quick cross section of what we do. Overall, our mission is really focused on building a member community of technical folks, right? Product folks, engineers, sort of savvy ad ops teams, and working together to develop the standards and technologies that actually wind up, hopefully, if they go well, being really foundational to making the industry work better and helping to spur growth, helping to support building trust across the ecosystem. This is our board of directors. We are a nonprofit organization. This is our board of directors. Certainly, if you're not on the board and you're interested in being on the board, please let me know. But this, we have a great group of companies that provide us with a lot of support. Several of them here today. So thanks again to our board. And then we work with, very much hand in hand with IAB in the U.S. and we partner very closely with IABs around the world, among other organizations, including at ID. We have Harold Geller here today. Next, please. So what do we do and why do we do what we do? It's, again, really focused on the technology side, the standards, the software that can be a standard in itself or can be supporting some of the standards that we build as tools, for example, and then services that kind of bolster all of the above, really in the form of compliance programs in particular, to help spur adoption, make sure that, that what we do is effectively adopted. And then our four focus areas down at the bottom really are around the supply chain, number one, and how do we make sure that we're promoting safety, effectiveness, trust, et cetera, in the supply chain. Second is on measurement and scaling measurement, making it more consistent, supporting cross-platform measurement, of course. The third is what we do to support better consumer experience, and then kind of the foundational layer there is the responsible use of data. And really, in many ways, video, in all ways, really, video cuts across all of these different areas as a really, maybe probably the most critical format and set of channels. Next slide, please. And one more click, please. So this is a bit of a view of what we do. It's not everything we do, but it gives you a bit of a sense. Everything from ads.txt and now ads.cert in beta to support fighting fraud. The ad management API right-hand side to support creative approval. OpenRTB, OpenDirect as protocols to support actually transacting ads. Open measurement, we'll hear more about later if you're not aware of it, to support measurement. And then this underpinning of supporting data transparency, Digitrust for identity, and also OTT, IFA work, Identifier for Advertising work there. And then even working with IAB Europe on GDPR and the transparency and consent framework. But in the middle, right, is VAST, VPaid, a lot of the other work we do to support video. And that plus the measurement piece will certainly be the core of the focus today. Next, please. So just for those who aren't members, some of the benefits of being a member. But again, thank you to everyone here. Most of you are members, so again, very much appreciate that. And with that, let's switch to why we're here today specifically. So when we looked at this, next slide, please. When we looked at this, and you saw this in the first poll a little bit, we really found three focus areas that we thought would be kind of good to group the work around. And the first is what we call TV convergence. Second, of course, OTT. And the third is sort of the other areas of digital video evolution that cut across TV and OTT and really everything. And you'll see a little bit more of what we mean there. Next, please. So on TV convergence, it's really about everything being digital. So whether the actual delivery is digital or not, it's how you receive the content, and it's the workflows that support advertising for the video content. In many cases, this ties back to VAST and other standards that we work on. But it's the ability to get video everywhere you are, and increasingly through digital channels, of course. On the next slide, please. So to support this area, we created a little while back the TV Convergence Task Force with all of these different organizations. And the real focus there has so far has been on video asset files, on managing metadata, on audio specs. Really, what can we do to bring together the traditional TV side with digital? And I think one of the more interesting projects, actually, I always get stuck on this with Ahmed. I just think it's a very important piece of work, is working with NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters, on ATSC 3.0, and really figuring out how, in many ways, we kind of support the soft landing, if you will, of TV into our world, and maintain and build that connection, which I think will be increasingly important. And then you'll hear a few sessions today that really look at delivering the specifics of delivering video across platforms, delivering video ads across platforms, and so that certainly fits under the TV convergence umbrella. Next, please. So we saw already in the poll, many of you are here to learn more about and talk more about OTT. So this gives us a reason for those who are not convinced that OTT is just a critical area for us to be talking about. 73% of adults watch ad-supported OTT video, and of all the adults who do watch streaming video, 45% say they watch ad-supported OTT the most. And this is courtesy a couple of stats coming up too from the IAB and ad receptivity and ad-supported OTT viewer study. That's a mouthful, but this is pretty encouraging, and in many ways even more encouraging. Next slide. Is that in that big category of ad-supported OTT video viewers, 50% say that ads can be useful and enjoyable, or enjoyable. 2/3 don't mind seeing ads. Obviously, we'd love to see these numbers even higher. And I think it's actually really worth noting that the demographic here is comprised in large part of typical sort of ad blocking users, so the young male audience, and so the fact that there's receptivity to ads among that audience gives us all, I think, just a major opportunity here. Next, please. And then one last piece on OTT that really puts a bit of the onus on all of us to continue to improve the ads themselves and make them more engaging, is that there's particular call out for enjoying interaction with ads in different forms. So half of viewers roughly across these three areas say they agree or strongly agree that they want to interact with the sponsor, or they want to be able to give feedback, or they like to interact with the ads in other ways, taking quizzes, et cetera. And so that, we think, again, that just gives us an opportunity to create an experience that's, that's novel, that's innovative. Next, please. And then the last piece, the kind of third pillar, if you will, of the three that I started with, is sort of other aspects of digital video evolution. And you'll hear a lot about these different areas today. So it's really what can we do to support more platforms, cross-platform, mobile, server-side ad insertion, other aspects play a role here. Enhancing workflow, in particular supporting cross-platform video advertising, managing and using identifiers effectively, as we just said, creating more ineffective, more interactive ads. And then finally, and maybe most importantly, is what can we do to simplify verification and measurement? And so these you'll see as themes during the day. Next slide, please. Again, that really encapsulates what we will be focusing on, how we'll kind of be organizing the day. So with that, one last slide. I want to thank you all for being here again, and very much want to thank our sponsors, particularly the platinum sponsors, Teleria and Extreme Reach, the gold sponsors, AdID and Conviva, and then supporting sponsors, Pubmatic, Xander, and Zentric. So with that, thank you all again, and welcome.